Today is August 11th, 23. Still going on today. I went down to Walmart, or actually, I didn't go in, but I went down there. Then I went up to Hartville. I stopped and got gas, and then I went into the Hartville Hardware. People inside and out were talking, and they said that they had told Will him going along with what they said about her medical thing, he had no right. Duh. Duh. It was a made-up lie by a minister. So his friend could openly cheat. He lied on everybody. He lied with fear. He ruled that church like he said he owned the building. He ruled that church with lies and fear. And he controlled everybody. And if you crossed him, he would lie all over you. And I told you over and over again how stupid his lies were and how he destroyed lives. Okay? All right. Up in Akron today, I'm working, and down the street, some guys pull in. Steve had us watch her. Somebody reported she was weird with herself, and we found out somebody tried to kill her. So we're to make sure she's okay. Steve's a wanted stalker. He's one of the drug dealers. Turn him in if you know who he is. He's part of the human traffickers. Okay? And then idiots still talk about, oh, you'll love this one. I walk out of Bueller's on Akron right off of 619. Okay? Some guy's out there in a truck. I know we're not allowed to say anything to her. You mean on a recorded line? A guy actually admits he knew what they were doing to her before. And he said, I could take care of this. Someone needs to. Retired Judge Pete, your husband's girlfriend father, and his drug friends cannot kick in the door and stalk the wife. Do you realize the mental illness of this in that family? Stalking the wife because the baby girl is dating that woman's husband. Having them, they are stupid enough, the drug dealers laughing, they photoshopped a shower scene, they put clips together, made it a porn. To make you, May 12th, 22, Belva's restaurant, they found a tape of them admitting it. 6 men screaming at him. KFC in Belden, May 26, 22, the shower scene was done on purpose to edit the one apartment, December 9, 21, 4 p.m. Everything was drugged in Photoshop. Same day, December 9, 21, Starr County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street. A white man bald with dark eyes distributing food actually worked the case. Canton found him. They always knew everything was drugged and photoshopped. They told my client Navarre, the White House before hers, that retired Judge Pete ordered everything to be drugged and photoshopped before. May 25th, 21, 6 p.m., Louisville. Wendy's, they were talking of the church people breaking in before, drugging me and telling me same weirdo molester stuff. How not funny it is. My client told my neighbors, Jim and Brian, he heard it. It was too dark for he couldn't handle it. So I asked Jim and Brian with the permission of knowing it. 8/9/21, the apartment building for me, second close to the fence. A lady and little girls live there. Okay, they're outside talking about it. They get 4 or 5 neighbors together. They get a police officer over there and do a police report of being drugged and told to say it before. November 2nd, 3rd, 21, Save-A-Lot, an African-American lady tells them that everything was drugged and photoshopped and made up on me and not to say a word to me. January 19th, 22, Department of Disability, they told them I was drugged and told to say it before. February 2nd, Burlington Coat Factory, a Latino man personally admitted that he drugged me and told me to say it first. People ran in to Save-A-Lot, other houses on 6th Street. Screaming to postman's like we all heard it. Okay. November 18th, 22, one of the drug dealers, Eric, comes in Walmart 62 by the hair salon 2 to 6 p.m. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. For all these people turn on it, they fell for it. Well, if it was only you, I could take care of it. I know it's that bad, and they still fell for it. November 24th, 22, the nurse at Mercy Medical taking care of me in the emergency room. We all heard that Eric make fun of us for falling for this, and nobody better say a word to her again. And the lady Canton officer, well, you know, the agent that bullied her into saying she was lying when she wasn't. Okay? June 30th, 23, Masker's Park in Louisville. My phone's tapped. They sold the technology to tapping phone. And everybody they sold the login to gets my phone, my apartment, my car. Okay? And they have the whole case. They're out there saying the guy running it is real socialite. Real life of the party. How he fooled all these people with a stunt of tapes before, and they all fell for it. And he was laughing with everybody in the party, how he made fools out of all these people. And the guy's like, well, you know what they did to her? I know. Well, I go up to work in Hartville, people from the case screaming driving by. I go to work in Akron. They drive by yelling, Eric, answer me. Eric, is this what's going on? My client's husband's like, what is that about? They were fighting in front of people. I go to leave. They yell out down the street, it is what's going on. They fooled everybody with the stud of tapes before, and everybody fell for it. And now they're mocking them, and we all know it. Okay? June 7th, 23, Walmart 62. Lighthouse Tabernacle by the front bathrooms, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Katie's sister Jody and her friends. FBI agent John fell for the stunt at the tapes before. Oh, come on now. It was only a stunt. They were getting even with me. So they had me stalked, drugged, beat, raped, human trafficked, photoshopped, and stalking tapes. And it's only a stunt. A satanic one. FBI agent John actually fell for the stunted tapes before? You're kidding. Oh, come on. That FBI agent actually fell for stunt of tapes before? You're kidding. Is that what's going on? John actually fell for it? You mean FBI agent John fell for the stunt of tapes before? Ha, 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 ha. Is that why they got away with it? Because FBI agent John fell for the stunt of tapes before. Ha 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 ha. July 9th, 23, my phone's tapped. I'm in Trinity Gospel. Right behind me, the ladies are sitting. They admit to selling the login to the case and made a ton of money. They said, we heard there was a retired Judge Pete in our home before. He didn't have no authority to be in our home. What was he thinking? He's going to go down for this. And we made a ton of money off of it. The FBI wouldn't dare fix this after what one of their agents did. People have been talking around me. Pete knew John. He knew the agent that called me back. See, that's where Michelle's mother in Walmart before had bragged. We called Will. We explained Michelle, and he set her up that nobody would ever help her, and she wouldn't get any money out of this. He set her up. The whole thing was a setup. Memorial Day weekend 2019, food counter, old white woman screaming to an African-American man. It's Michelle's mother. For it's my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna at a store. It's for my daughter. They did all this for, and our family watching her doing this. Do you realize how mentally ill they are? she's cheating with my husband, and they have her dad stalk the wife. Do you realize how illegal that is? Not only conflict of interest, but do you realize how mentally ill their family is? Stalk the wife. Have the drug cartel guys that they're messed up in break in, drug me, lie they had sodium pentothal reports. Leave me covered in bruises, throwing up, dizzy, heart racing, severe personal infection. Here I'm being human trafficked out of my own home. The new girlfriend's family is doing this to a wife that has nothing to do with their adulterous affair. Okay? I want you to think about this. How sick they are. And then to Photoshop the shower scene, it's just clicking and pasting. You can Photoshop anything nowadays. People act like they have no IQ. So what they're saying is Pete can break in their home, right, and stalk them. He can sell them on porn sites, sell their kids on kiddie porn sites. He can have the drug cartel go in and drug them up. They wake up throwing up, headache, heart racing, dizzy, almost passing out. And a severe personal infection, not knowing what's wrong with them, seen by the doctor. Doctor's not putting it together that people are human trafficking them under drugs out of their home. And then drugging them with roofies and then tell them to say something stupid. And then have all these people attack them. They can extort money. That's legal, right? Hell no. They should have been arrested the first day. See, I went in Bueller's today up in Akron. And some kids were in there talking. She did have symptoms of being drugged, being raped. The police better be taking care of this. They didn't have a right. No, they didn't. See, where I told you, I called the FBI hotline. Next morning, I couldn't hardly wake up. They had to keep me drugged up so they could get to his friend. With their stalking and photoshopping and drug confessions. Keep me drugged up for almost 3 days. I make myself get up on the third day holding my head. What's wrong with me? They're drugging the hell out of me. That's highly illegal. And mental illness on their family. Hurting the wife of the boyfriend of their baby girl. That has nothing to do with their adulterous affair. They had no right to interfere in my life. And then I told you I called Sarah. I went and got her card. She said she'd witness for me. Went out and got her card, put that agent's number, had and called back. Went out down, dropped it off at the mall for church. Went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Pemer got in Dave's face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. Okay. I walk off as he's screaming, how dare you, bring the FBI with threats on her life. And I walk off, women come up. He knows she's being drugged, beaten, raped, and he said he didn't care. Why I had bruises all over me, swollen, infected personal area, been throwing up, dizzy, already lost 18 pounds. I go in and sit down and my heart sinking into my stomach. Is that what's going on? They come in and say it again, said if she was going to be faking she was sick and faking she got well while that family was grieving, he didn't care what they did. And he was going to turn her back over to her. And I thought, what a mean. Can you imagine an agent saying that? He was never going to help me. He opened my case under fraud. Never going to help me. Dave comes in, let's go, and he threatens my life and swinging at me in the truck till I almost jumped out on the highway. I ran from the next day. I called that agent back. Rivers of tears, scared out of my mind. Told him someone told on me on a recorded line. Called me a liar. It was verified by officers. It was the agent that called me back. I told him about the guy that threatened to knife me. He started screaming about a camera above the bench. I don't know. If you don't know if there's a camera above the bench, you better say you're lying or I'll arrest you. And he's like, was there a camera above that bench? I said, well, you tried to kidnap me before, you liar. Terry let me tape her with her permission. He's a serial killer in this area. He killed my coworker Lori's family member and took my house manager Melissa's niece. He's part of the big human traffickers. That's who the Apostolics hired. Human traffickers. The drug cartel. That was human trafficking people out this area. That's who the apostolics hired. And he starts screaming about some damn camera. I don't know. If you don't know, you better say you're lying or I'll arrest you. And I'm like, what? He said, now, was there a camera by the bench? I don't know. Then say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. It's like, fine, whatever. Badgering laws. It's obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, tampering with witnesses. It's exactly what he did. It's 5 to 20 years for the statement of that. Maybe, why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're going to kill me, so. They've tried to kill me, so. Huh? Other guy yells out, well, we could always use Pete's tape before it being weird. And the guy starts giggling, stops, you don't know. I said, what's going on? And the guy yells out about Pete again. And he starts giggling, stop, she doesn't know. I'm being drugged and framed, and I didn't know. And I ask him, what's going on? She doesn't know, stop. Who hired Pete? Dave told Danny he hired Pete on his own, his girlfriend's dad, and those drug friends. Huh? Is that legal? No, they had no right in my home. None. The mental illness of that family stalking the wife of the new boyfriend and drugging her and framing her. Do you realize how mentally ill they are? Mentally ill. And then the guy lists me informant for life, $5,000 a month for life, immunity for life, even when you tell, and then threaten me if I told. So I'd be too scared to say anything, so they get away with it. He left me up there to die in the middle of a drug cartel. Had a cop talk to Dave, even though he already talked to Dave. Dave told Danny he talked to that agent up at that church. Today up in Akron, my client's neighbors, some guys were up there. He did tell people he knew she was being drugged, being raped, and didn't care. He also said the other part. He opened my case under fraud, and he stole $290,000 from the FBI. He let his friends, that people have been talking, he let his friend get away with all these crimes in front of people. He purposely has let people get murdered, taken, and sell FBI information and technology across the nation and make millions off of it. They need to arrest those. Somebody even said they need to get a hold of those two agents and find out their involvement in this and why they didn't arrest them the first day they had no right in their home. And they have them dead to rights on a recorded line. And they sold everybody that's got the login to the case. Go on Department of Justice, submit a complaint, go down to FBI and turn them in. Go on anything from the CIA to the Secret Service, anybody else to get them down here and fix this. Or even go on the FBI and tell them to get someone from out of this area. Those two agents cannot become the new mafia and let their friends destroy lives in this area and defraud the government of purpose on victims. Other officers in Akron had told people, don't say anything to her. We all got phone calls. It's wrong to defraud anybody, especially victims. And he set my case up as a fraud case to steal from the government. He should arrest him the first day and got me out of here. My friend from the prosecutor's office in Stark County. He used to work there. He giggled like a little girl. That agent can't talk to you like that. The police can't go along with it. He can't bully you into false statements. They could never go along with that. The only thing legal he did was list you informant with money. He said he can't even ask you to stay quiet. He don't have that kind of authority. He's only higher law enforcement. He's only a higher cop, basically. It takes a sitting judge to take your freedom of speech away. I said, well, they already know. He said, I don't care. And he said, as far as the FBI, they will go to jail for trying to drop you. He said they can never legally drop you. Once the government agrees to protect you, they cannot unprotect you. They could hire someone else to kill you. He said they would go to jail for trying. And of course, they owe you the money for your rest of your life and for working this case. And you will stay in immunity and you will stay an informant. They can move you to a different witness protection program, but they have to talk to you first. And otherwise, you stay an informant for life. And they always have to pay you for the rest of your life. It don't matter if you work 1 minute of a case or if you work years. they still have to pay you for the rest of your life, and you stay in immunity. And he said that agent cannot talk to you that way, and the police could never go along with him mistreating you. He didn't have that authority to even suggest you to stay quiet. He was just bullying you. I said, well, they already knew. He said, I don't care. He said, you can tell anybody you want in any witness protection program, and they can't open their mouth to you. They're only law enforcement. They're hired cops. He was pulling a fast one. He was the one at Apostolic Church of Barberton, verified by officers. November 6, 22, in Trinity Gospel, investigators were talking about him. It was verified by officers. It was the agent that called her back, telling on her before she called him back. Oh, my Lord. And with their acknowledgement of Pete, Dave's girlfriend, her dad, that he was stalking me and framing me and giggling. Since when do cops think it's funny a woman's being stalked? You can't even go around taking the same pictures of different people, the same person. It's stalking and menacing. You can't be in somebody's home. It's a right to privacy in their own home. It's automatically, he even told me that. It's a fraud scheme. It's the Fourth Amendment of the house. Nobody can be in your house. He said where they kicked in the door, they probably did Photoshop, set up cameras, and were stalking you. They probably did Photoshop a shower scene. They probably, where you had bruises you couldn't explain, throwing up, heart racing, and getting sick and da-da-da. They probably were drugging you up and telling you to say something stupid. He said they could never use it against you. They did a big mistake and did it in your home. It's the Fourth Amendment of the house. Officer Reinhardt in Louisville. Same thing. Even the FBI would go to jail for looking at it. Nobody can be in your home except for protected light cases with statements. It's illegal to be in somebody's home. He cannot take the law into his own hands and twist it into his evil will and extort money. It's a fraud scheme. People know better than this. You also have a right to remain quiet and a right to an attorney. Why can't they be in your home? You also have a right to privacy. Nobody can be in your home but protected light cases with statements. It's the Fourth Amendment. You go to jail for being in somebody's home, stalking them. I'm going to upload this.